Hello everyone, thank you for joining me once again. I hope we are all well and staying safe. Today I'm going to continue on my relationship series and I'm going to be touching on a very interesting topic. And this would border more around my female viewers, my single female viewers. And it is one that has to do with the fear of settling for less. So really, this topic is one that is very close to my heart because I've had a lot of questions around this topic. I have a lot of my single girlfriends that would often worry or, express concern that they may have to settle for less. And settling for less in a partner that they would not ordinarily have chosen if everything was as it was meant to be. Now, a lot of the times, the settling for less is when there's a bit of agitation and there's apprehension about time. So, most times, the ladies that find themselves in this situation could be ones that are facing a lot of pressure, either from family, from friends, or from society in general, as to having a partner in their life. So this topic links to yet another one, which has to do with settling for Mr. Available. So Mr. Available is like a term that we use to say someone like Mr. Available is that man that is there at this point in your life. He's not necessarily the one that you would have chosen, but because of your current situation of being by yourself, you want to make do. So you're settling and you decide to pick on the next available option in front of you. I like to give an analogy here so that we can understand what this can actually mean and when we do this, what we are actually doing to ourselves. So you want to buy a very lovely dress. There is an occasion, there is a party or an event where you would be a speaker or where you are going to be giving a presentation. Perhaps this is an interview for you, one that is a deal breaker in your career. And then you have that idea in your head of how you want to look. Because whether we like it or not, our looks a lot of the times boosts our inner confidence and then it shows outwardly. So then you go into this store and as soon as you step in there, you pick the one dress or the one pantsuit or skirt suit that you find in front of you, just out of the rack. You just pick it and say, well, this is the only one that I can see now, or I'm in a hurry, I want to really get this going. And then you pick this dress or this pantsuit or whatever it is that you have picked off the rack. Then you get home, you try it on, and it doesn't fit. Imagine the kind of panic. Imagine the kind of, you will just be in a state of complete disarray because you are already stressed. You are going for this interview and now you have picked a dress that doesn't fit. You are not going to look nice, and then the whole thing just continues to spiral. So this is what happens when we settle for Mr. Available. Now, I like to differentiate or distinguish between settling for Mr. Available and the point where my single friends would say, what if my standards are too high? Again, I would like you to understand that we are all made differently, each to his own. Your preference might not be my preference. My preference might not be your preference, but it is important that we know what we like. So the issue of standards or high standards should not be what we should be discussing. What we should actually be talking about should be values. Like, how does someone's values fit into your own values and vice versa? So we all have what we like and what we don't like. And that puts a kind of standard already. If you want to erase standards, then you are completely just going to fall flat. So that issue of standards should not actually come up in this case. Now, when you say, oh, I am afraid that I will be settling or I may have to settle, sometimes the thinking behind is time is not on my side. The pressure of time to do this, time to do that. A lot of ladies put this pressure on themselves. And a lot of the times when you ask, you will be told that it is the time that society has given to us. So there is a set time that a woman should be in school, university. There's a set time where she should be building a career. There is a set time where she should meet somebody, fall in love, get married, start having kids, and the pressure just goes on and on and on. So we take on this pressure and then we begin to stress and we begin to worry, and then we fall a victim when we eventually settle for Mr. Available. So it's important that you know what pressure you are facing or what pressures you have placed upon yourself. Because another thing is sometimes too, we are the ones that have put the pressure on ourselves. So you have a lot of friends that you started off together as single. These friends are now getting married, and you just feel that it is the next right thing to do. So you put the pressure upon yourself and you begin to worry, and you're just like, you know what, the next available man, I will just go with him. I cannot do this anymore. I have to settle. There's also the fear of maybe we might just be alone forever. But we also have to remember that it is not a case of being with somebody that would help us not to feel lonely. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. I have met married people in happy marriages or seemingly happy marriages or partnership who feel lonely. So then it means that loneliness is not a thing to do with whether you are with somebody or not. It has to do with you. So you have to be able to figure out for yourself how to overcome the feeling of loneliness. Bearing in mind that we all have, or we may all go through a stage in our lives where we feel lonely. A good way to be able to overcome loneliness would be to be busy doing what makes us happy. That could be building a career. That could be serving in one capacity or the other. Just in general, you have to look for those things that will fill you. Because when you have an empty void inside of you, that is where loneliness stems from. So you have to be able to figure out what would keep you not busy just for the sake of being busy, but really doing things that would impact, things that would matter to you as an individual. Now, the other thing is sometimes too, so from this part of loneliness is where everything just spirals and you're like, I want to settle, or I may just need to settle, or maybe that vision of who I have out there does not exist. Now, that is where we come to the point of what are your expectations? Because we may really have unrealistic expectations. So it's good for us to be able to really assess what we are expecting from the other person and really what is attainable. Because we must remember when we are looking to go into a relationship that we are going to be dealing with a human being, and that person is not perfect. Again, if you are going into the relationship because you think that this individual is going to fill a void or is going to completely make your life, or is going to make your life complete, then you may be going into it for the wrong reasons. So it's very important that you are able to sit back and assess the standards or what you expect in a relationship. What are you really expecting? Are you expecting this fantasy, this magic where everything is perfect, the individual is perfect and there are no problems and everything is just smooth sail? If that is the way that you view a relationship, then you may need to sit back and really think again. Even take a look at your own life. Are you that perfect person? So you're expecting somebody to be all of this. Are you all of that? That is where again it goes back to building yourself. What you expect in a relationship, what you are hoping to get from a relationship, do you have it? Are you also going to give? Because it takes two. So you have to be able to really analyze and assess to see where you are. Now, the whole thing about settling for Mr. Available, or sometimes to what we call Mr. Right Now, is a topic that is very deep. I'm going to pause here now, and then I will continue on this topic same time next week. I hope you'll be joining me again. Thank you for spending this time with me. Bye-bye and see you next time.